Hello and welcome to Beyond Business, the program where we track the latest trends in the global economy. Today we're looking at a product that's been billed as a miracle cure for starving children and the legal battle that's brewing over it. It's called Plumpy Nut, and the question is whether it's right or not to protect it with a commercial patent. In one corner stands the French inventors Nutri-Set. They want to prevent cheaper US-made versions from elbowing out those made in developing nations. Two American non-profit groups are in the other corner, and they accuse Nutri-Set of getting in the way of their efforts to save lives. It's an emotive issue, as you can hear, and we'll discuss it here in the studio in just a moment. First, though, let's take a closer look at Plumpy Nut and the fight over it.
It's a war between French and American companies to sell this paste. It might look like regular candy, but it's used to feed undernourished children in famine-stricken areas. The paste, known as Plumpy Nut, pitches a small French company against a number of American groups involved in food production for the humanitarian sector. The paste is made of peanuts and was invented in northern France by this man, Michel director of Nutri-Set.
Here we're in the area where the peanuts arrive. The machines crush them with various oils and sugar. They blend them into a smooth paste. Then we add other ingredients such as milk, powder, vitamins and minerals.
The paste is mixed together using the latest technology and then wrapped in hermetically sealed plastic packaging.
The most difficult part is to seal the bags without leaving any paste in the weld. Otherwise, it wouldn't be waterproof. It has to remain perfectly hermetic for at least 2 years.
The hermetic bags, which keep the product fresh for up to 2 years, add value to Nutri-Set, but its success is down to the originality of its recipe.
The true innovation of Plumpy Nut is that there's very little water in it, and you don't need to add water to eat it. And since it contains no water, bacteria can't reproduce, whereas milk powder involves greater risks. You need to add water to use it, and if the water's of poor quality, you face yet another problem.
In many places, Plumpy Nut has replaced milk powder to help save children at risk of starvation. However, this success has disgruntled some rivals in the humanitarian food sector.
Two American companies say that our patent is not valid and legitimate. I think they're complaining about our patent for one reason. They want to produce similar products and sell them in developing countries.
On the other side of the Atlantic, companies such as the non-profit food manufacturer Braidlove are trying to get hold of the recipe. The company sells a product that looks a bit like Plumpy Nut, called Vitanut. Braidlove wants to get Nutri-Set's patent lifted so it can break into the African market.
I would question the integrity and moral of having that patent. As I mentioned, this is the only product that I'm aware of in humanitarian food that has a intellectual property issue attached to it.
But Nutri-Set is holding firm. It won't deliver its recipe to the competition in the Northern Hemisphere. It does, however, allow developing countries to make Plumpy Nut, like here in Niger. David Fish of Braidlove says his company should be allowed to sell any food item it wants.
As far as Braidlove being able to compete, that's the world that we live in. We have to compete with everything that we do, and the challenge to us is to come up with a better product, a better answer, a better solution for the problems that people have, and to be able to deliver on that.
The companies will settle their differences in court, which will decide if a plurality of companies will get to supply foodstuffs to the starving millions in the developing world.
And for more now, we turn to Stéphane Doyon from the aid organization Médecins Sans Frontières, where he's nutrition team leader. Welcome to France 24.
Okay, thank you.
Let's start talking about what's at stake, first of all. Is Plumpy Nut a miracle product?
Concerning the treatment of severe acute malnutrition, so the most severe form of malnutrition, yes, it is. Because before we had to treat severe malnutrition in hospital, it was quite difficult, quite resource-consuming. You don't have enough beds in all the hospitals of the southern country to take in charge all the children that are affected. What change is that the product creates the condition to treat severe acute malnutrition out of the hospital, at home, by the mother. And really, this allows the scaling up of the treatment. Now we can go on massive treatment, when before, sometimes we were having less capacity than the one required. I mean, we could have more patients than the one we could treat. Now we are never on this kind of dynamic. Now we can think about treating all the patients that we have with this kind of product.
So I take it that you, within Médecins Sans Frontières, you're buying this product?
Of course, yeah. We are using this type of product for treating severe malnutrition. It's the product that we use, not necessarily Plumpy Nut, but RUTF, the generic name, as we also purchase from other company.
On what side, then, do you come down when it comes to this patent battle? Seeing that you're buying products from other companies, do you think that a patent on this kind of product is wrong?
We are not very comfortable with a patent on this kind of product. Before, there was no patent in this kind of product for all the nutritional products that were existing. Now there is a patent, and this creates lots of problems. I mean, it creates a problem of sometimes a lack of competition. So sometimes we can find products that are cheaper, even in the southern country, and you can have barriers. So that doesn't allow you to lessen the price. And then it poses question on the research and development. All these products are done with research and development from humanitarian organization or public servant from a research center. If you make a research and development and you invest, and the final product will be controlled by a commercial company, it poses questions. So that's the problematic where we are in.
But Nutriset, of course, it says it's just taking precautions to make sure that Plumpy Nut and similar products aren't just made in Western countries, that they're made in developing nations as well, and that employment opportunities are created in developing nations. Do you buy that argument?
We are in favor of this argument, but we don't buy it when we see that most of the production of Nutriset is coming from the northern countries, and Nutriset is also producing in the US. So I mean, if the push was to make as much production as possible in the south and to create this condition for that, we are totally in favor of that. But it's quite paradoxical to make what you accuse the other of doing. I mean, basically, they have a Nutriset company in the US that is going to sell its stuff to the US government and ship it to Africa. In countries where potentially you will have local producers that will not be able to compete with this subsidized product. So we are sympathetic with this dynamic, but not with the argument, because it seems a little paradoxical.
But Nutriset, of course, it says that, or it's denying that the patent issue has ever denied children of Plumpy Nut and of being able to use Plumpy Nut. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, for the RUTF, if you look at the capacity of production...
When you say RUTF, it's ready to use therapeutic food products.
Yeah, for the treatment, because now you have a different variation of this type of product. For the one that is for treating malnutrition, the severe form of malnutrition, the capacity of production is really more than the use, so there is no problem of shortage. Now, more and more, you have the use of this type of product as a food for prevention or for mildest form of malnutrition. And for this, I'm not sure that Nutriset will have the capacity to fulfill the demand, because you are really an increasing demand. Now that people do agree there is a wide consensus that the fortified blended flours that were used to prevent malnutrition are not adequate and need reformulation, people look with a lot of attention to this product. And for example, we came from a demand of 4,000 metric tons 2 years ago to last year a demand for 14,000 tons. Next year, it can be up to 30,000 tons. One producer will never have the capacity. So it's really important that the patent doesn't block the building of capacity to be able to really improve the nutrition to young children.
Let me just clarify something then. So you're saying that in the worst cases of malnutrition, there is enough plumpy nut and similar products on the market, but when it comes to the prevention of malnutrition, that's where we could see a lack of this product in the future.
Exactly, because the increase demand is really exponential. So there is always the risk, and right now we really need to build a very strong capacity of production to respond to this increasing demand.
How much does a plumpy nut actually cost?
You have a variation of price according to where you purchase it, from Nutriset outside or Nutriset and its franchisee. But you can say
between Nutriset, the Nutriset product, and other products.
It can be sometime, but basically the average cost that you have is around €3 per kg. And to treat one children, you need about 13 kg. Even if after you have a cost for paying the staff and all these kind of things, the treatment is €60 basically, 39 being for the product and the rest being for the implementation.
All right, Stéphane Doyon from MSF, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us here today at France 24. And with that, we're going to wrap up this edition of Beyond Business. Thanks very much for watching, and do stay with us here at France 24. We've got more news coming your way shortly.